In the heart of Asia, among incense-filled temples and silent churches, stories of faith, seeking, and hope intertwine.
Taiwan is a spiritual mosaic, a living laboratory of diversity and religious freedom.
Here, Buddhism and Taoism, Christianity and Islam, Confucianism and new paths in search of truth coexist.
But how is this diversity truly lived out?
Taiwan has an environment that allows for the coexistence of different religions. A Japanese person once told me, Taiwan is a museum of religions. The entire museum project was born from the spiritual practice of the master. He would retreat into a small cave, fast, and live in silence. During the most austere phase of his life, he realized that life does not belong to him alone, but is one with all life. This spiritual insight is the foundation of the museum. He understood the concept of a community of life. He observed that various faiths were emerging in Taiwan, and that at times they created confusion. The master believed that religion should purify the heart, so he decided to gather the faiths that have contributed most to humanity and present them together. In this way, people can learn about them and choose freely.
At the level of the Episcopal Conference, we foster dialogue with various religions, seeking forms of collaboration. The main approach now is based on friendship. For some time, I've observed that there is great tolerance among religions in Taiwan. That is the first point. The second point concerns how to get to know one another in this climate of tolerance. So then, what can we do together? That's what we are gradually working on. In this process, we have plenty of room to act, but we cannot rush or expect immediate results. However, in mutual respect and esteem, we occasionally organize activities or take opportunities to invite others or to visit their temples or churches. This climate of friendship has become natural among us, and I'm very happy about that. Thanks to this collaboration, we have also created religion and peace camps involving young people, and even not so young, for 3 or 4 days of shared living. This way we discover how religions can engage in dialogue, also reflecting on historical difficulties. The goal is to overcome the fear of inter-religious dialogue. Because the first concern many people have is, if I take part in dialogue, am I somehow betraying my God or my religion? That's the first thing we need to address. We must understand who our God is and how we relate to Him in order to know whether we are being faithful. And who are the others? Are they messengers of God, or are they opposed to Him? Obviously, if they were opposed, there should be no dialogue. But if we see friendly attitudes, we remember the words of Jesus, that they may all be one. Then we understand that God is love, and where there is love, there is God.
As
for other religions, we also thank the Vatican and its Pontifical Council for interreligious dialogue, which is very active. 3 or 4 years ago, they initiated a dialogue with Taiwanese Buddhism. They also organized international conferences with Taoism. We, as the Diocese of Taipei, actively supported these initiatives. In this way, we have built strong relationships with Buddhists, Taoists, and also with popular religions. In recent years, we have also developed good relations with Muslims and Buddhists. Every year during Ramadan, the Vatican sends a letter that we translate into Chinese, and I, together with priests and lay people, bring it to the mosque to engage in dialogue with them. The Muslims also invite us to share the iftar meal at the end of each day of Ramadan. The relationship is very good. Recently, we also founded an association for religious peace. Throughout Taiwan, we have connected over 20 different religions, including Yi Guandao, Tiandijiao, and Tiandejiao. Around 20 religions united. They chose me as president. Every year, we organize 2 or 3 meetings between representatives of the different religions. We discuss social issues and how to promote the progress of society. I coordinate these groups, and Catholicism is seen as the older brother. Everyone is willing to collaborate with us and follow our lead. So we have harmonious relationships with all religions. Religion in Taiwan is free, and there are no particular interferences. However, it is important to continue defending this freedom so that everyone's right to freely and publicly practice their religion can be protected. In Taiwan, it is not difficult to come across a Catholic procession, a Muslim iftar, or a religious gathering in a street or public square. This is a sign of a freedom of expression that is lacking even in some Western democracies. In Taiwan, there is no prevailing secularist model that excludes religion from public life and confines it to the private sphere. Everyone is free to express their faith and religious affiliation, including through outward symbols and practices. A brother invited us here. It's my first time in a Buddhist temple. We experienced Zazen meditation, which is, at its core, similar to a method of spirituality in our church. Inner recollection, pausing, reflecting on oneself, and seeking a path to improve the heart. We listened to the monks chanting the sutras in a repeated and continuous way to attain inner peace and to direct that energy toward those in need of blessing. This experience helps to dissolve misunderstandings, to open up, to embrace differences, and to seek the truth together. Even among Buddhists, there are many different schools and practices. Just as in the Catholic Church, there are various paths of spirituality. In the Catholic Church, we can learn a lot from Zazen meditation. We can adopt a path of asceticism to free ourselves from attachment to this world and return to the heart to understand what we truly follow deep within. We must not be carried away by external things, but seek the unity between heaven, humanity, and God to follow the path of Jesus. In formation, it's easy to get distracted by external things, emotions, others' personalities, interpersonal relationships. Everything can cause friction. But every experience teaches us something, and we learn that before any relationship, we must open our minds, broaden our perspective, and in doing so, the heart is no longer disturbed by these things. We return to simplicity and inner peace.
In his lectures, the master used to say, we have only one planet. All religions coexist on this earth. Without peace among religions, there can be no peace in the world. That's why we must promote dialogue. If we truly believe in these values, then there will no longer be conflicts between faiths.
所以用这样子的方式